What's up, guys? Dansking 1711, the best damn thing in gaming around. Yeah, I'm going back to that intro because I'm not really into DPS anymore, so it doesn't really make sense to be the digital Saiyan. Anyway, sorry about the long wait between videos. It's just that I had a lot of things going on. Blah, stupid beard. Anyway, a lot of things going on. Joined an actual Digimon team now. So that's the thing. And this is the list today is something that me and the team have been working on for a little bit now, getting ready for BT8. But yeah, long hiatus, back now. Expecting a little bit more content now actually than before because of being on the team now. Check out the digi-doomed collective. That's who we are. But anyway, with that all said and done, got a new list for you guys today. It's freaking Whamon Armour. You'll see why I call it that here in a minute. Let's get into it. Alright, guys, here we freaking go. So, first off, we gotta give appreciation to the custom mat. Thank you. Thanks to the guy who made it. I'll have his Twitter bio linked down below. But starting things off, we are on a typical Armour Rush deck, so we gotta have our 4 copies of Whamon. Card is just so good in the current format, or in the BT8 format. You're gonna get so many draws off of this. Most of you guys know what this does by now. But that for those of you who are new here to the channel, I'll go over it real quick. When attacking once per turn, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution sources in it, meaning it's just whatever there is, and nothing underneath it, you get to draw 1. Card is amazing for drawing in blue. Speaking of blue, because we are on, so moving on to the rookies, we do have 16 of them. So we have a little bit of things to go through. First off, we have 4 copies of the boy Whamon. It's got jamming. That's all it does, is has jamming. But that's, trust me, when I say that having jamming is more than enough. And again, for you guys that are new here, jamming just means when you swing a security with this Digimon, it does not die to things that have more DP than it. Moving right along, we are an Armour Rush deck, so of course we're going to have a good majority of Whamon. So, next up we have the BT8 Whamon. During your turn, if your opponent would have a level 6 or higher Digimon, this Digimon can warp Digivolve into an All Force Veedramon in your hand for a cost of 4. And then it has inherited, where if you have 7 or less cards in your hand, when attacking, draw 1, and that is not once per turn. So you can get a good number of draws off of this card. And we all know that draw power is win power. Moving right along, we are into a BT8 deck. So we do have some BT8 proxies. Just because the deck set is not fully out yet. But we do have 4 copies of the BT8 oh no, this is a starter deck Whamon from the Imperial starter. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon with free init traits to your hand. Now, all our Whamons are free, all our armors are free, so that's a good chunk of searching. And we do want to hard play some Whamons in this deck every once in a while, just for certain effects, which we'll go over later. The last rookie we're playing is 4 copies of BT8 Whamon. And yeah, I ran out of ink, colored ink when I was printing these ones. But what it does is, it's a blue card. Reveal top 4 on play. Grab 1 Digimon, or 1 card among them, that is dual colored, including blue. So it could be blue-green, it could be blue-yellow, it could be blue-red. Those are the main colors we have in this deck. But anything, as long as it has blue in its colors, and there's 2 or more, at least 2 colors, you can grab it with this card. That is it for our rookies. I have thought about maybe cutting back some of the Whamons here or there for memory blockers such as Madoka Betamon. It's definitely a thought that you could do with yourselves, but for the time being, I want it to be as consistent as possible. Moving on to the level 4s in the deck, there are 12 of them. Starting off, we have 4 copies of Flame Dramon. Red Blue Digimon Digivolves for 3 off of any red, or for 2 off of any Vmon. And when attacking with this card, it gains plus 3000 DP for the turn. Card is pretty standard. 8k DP on the first swing, so it's hitting over pretty much all level 4s and most level 5s, and still surviving. Moving right along, we have 4 copies of Raydramon, aka Lydramon. I still don't get why they changed the name, but if one of you guys know in the comments knows below, please let me know why they changed it from Raydramon to Lydramon. Raydramon, which is such a better name. Anyway, Green Blue Digivolves for 3 off of any green, or for 2 off of any Vmon. And when Digivolving, you can suspend any level 4 or lower Digimon your opponent may have. And also, and all these guys that were running for the level 4s have Armor Purge, which means that if it would get deleted by any means, whether it be higher DP in security or some sort of effect, or your opponent's Digimon swinging at it, you can just trash the top card and the stack will survive. The last level 4 that we're running is 4 copies of Magnamon. Digivolves for 4 off of any blue or yellow, or off for 3 off of any Vmon. He is a blocker, and when Digivolving, he gains 2000 DP for every armor in your trash, and then unsuspends himself. So if you have, say, even just 2 armors in your trash, that's already an 11k blocker during your opponent's turn, and it keeps the buff until the end of your opponent's next turn. So, he's a good card to go into at the very end of your armor chain. And yeah, card just phenomenal. Now, I told you this was Whamon Armour, so let's get into that part of the deck, shall we? We are running 3 copies of the boy Whamon. 8 memory cost to play. On play, you may play a level 3 from any of your Digimon in play without paying the cost, and then you can put any blue card under one of your Digimon that you have in play. Well, what are the targets that we're using with this card? Well, that happens to be 1 copy of Alt-Force Vdramon from the starter, 2 copies of Ancient Garurumon, and last but not least, 2 copies of Gabubond. Now you may be wondering, why these cards in particular? Well, because Ancient Garurumon, on swing, unsuspends himself. Alt-Force Vdramon, on swing, if you have 8 or more cards, unsuspends himself. Gabubond, on swing, if you have a tamer, unsuspends himself. And Gabubond happens to be removal for any level 5 or lower Digimon that your opponent may have. It bounces to the bottom of the deck. So, how are we getting these cards? So you know how we're getting them under our armors, but how are we getting them out? Well, we're getting them out via the Armor Purge, or via one of the options that we have. Because here's the thing, Armor Purge does not say it has to go down to a level 3. It just trashes the top card of the stack. This works especially well if you do not have an egg underneath the armor. That's why we hard play some of our Vmons. So, a nice play of what I like to do is that I already have a tamer on board. Say I'm at 3 memory. I'll swing. I have the Ancient already out. Like from something like this. I'll swing with the Ancient. He'll unsuspend for his effect. I'll then Digivolve into the Bond. Swing with him. And bottom deck something. He'll unsuspend for his effect because I have a tamer. And swing and bottom deck one more time. That's 3 swings for only 3 memory. I think that's pretty good. And if it's, say during your opponent's turn you had a stack like this with the Magnamon over the Ancient, you can just block something. And if it's bigger than a Magna, Magnas are going to trash. You still got an Ancient that they have to deal with. Moving on to the Tamers, though. Moving right on to the Tamers next, though, because I don't want to spend all day on this little chat package. We are running 3 copies of Davis. Start your turn. If you have 2 or less memory, go up to 3. On play, if you have on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Grab 1 blue Digimon and 1 green Digimon from among them. What's really nice to do is you can grab Raidramon as the green, if you see it, and then you can grab any of your other blues, including a 2nd copy of Raidramon if you want. But that's not the only team we're running. We're also running 3 copies of Davis and Ken. Starting the main phase, so after you're breeding, after you raise, if you have a blue Digimon in play, gain a memory. If you have a green Digimon in play, gain a memory. Raidramon is perfect for this, because he's both blue and green. So if you have a Raidramon in play, either in your raising area or just happens to be in play, starting your main phase, you're gaining 2 for each of these Davis and Kens you have in play. Really good. Davis and Ken has a second effect, though. Your turn, when you would Digivolve one of your Digimon into a 2-color Digimon, you may suspend this Tamer to unsuspend that Digimon. This is what keeps our armor chain going. It makes armor decks so crazy to deal with. But moving on to the options, we do run 8 of them. We have 3 copies of Hammerspark, because we are in blue. We want to have as much memory as we can possibly have. Hammerspark lets us do this, and is also a pretty decent bomb in security. Next up, we have 2 copies of Fire Rocket. If you have an armor Digimon in play, you can play this card without matching its color requirements. And then, what it does is that it gives one of your 2-color Digimon, it could be anyone, whether it be an armor, whether it be a Zulong, if you're running it, because the thing with the the Whamon package is you don't have to necessarily run the Ancients. You can run BT8 Azulon. You can run pretty much any blue level 6 and 7 that you want. But this gives dual colored cards security attack +1. And in security, it just destroys a blocker. And the last option we're running, and one probably the MVP option, 3 copies of Armor Texture. You can play it without meeting the white requirements if you have an armor. Then what it does is if you have, let me read it word for word. Trash the top card of your Digimon with armor in its traits. Then one of your Digimon to Digivolve into a Digimon with armor in its attributes in your hand by paying the cost. If you do, unsuspend that Digimon. Really good if you happen to have a jamming Vmon on board, and an armor with pretty much just any armor, but specifically if you have an armor with one of your level 6 or 7s under it, because you can armor tension that armor away, and then Digivolve it over the Vmon. And then in security, you can play a level 3 free Digimon from your hand or trash without paying its cost. Well, all our Vmons are free, so we can play literally any one of them. So yeah, well, and that's the deck, guys. So until next time, So if you guys want to try this out, feel free right ahead. Like I said, there are other options you can run for the Whamon package. So these guys right here. There are other options you can run for the level 5, 6s and 7s. Like I mentioned, you can run BT8 Azulon. You can run Hexablow. You can run old school Azulon if you're facing something that doesn't play a lot of sources. I definitely would suggest you keep the bond in, just because it's Goblin Bond. It's so fucking freaking good in the deck. It's removal. It's how you deal with the mirror. But like these three, you could be pretty much any level 6 blue that you want, within reason, because there's some that like are only better if you actually digivolve into them. But without further ado, guys, that's the deck. Try it out for yourself if you want. I highly recommend it. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I've actually won some BT8 events with it. I've come within pretty close to topping a lot of events as well with it. But yeah, try it out, guys. Until next time, DanceKing1711. And that's the video, guys. Until next time, this has been DanceKing1711 signing off. Before I go, though, a few little things. If you liked the video, make sure you hit the like button. And feel free to subscribe if you really want to. It costs you guys nothing, and lets you guys know when I post new videos, whether it be the deck profile, be it matches that I have planned coming up, hopefully soon. Until next time, guys, like I said, signing off.